So Bhakti, if you can start off by telling a little bit about your practice as an artist.
So I started in the world of art uh, through dance. Odyssey is my main practice. Uh, then I went on to explore more art forms because I soon realized that I'm not limited to, my artistic practice is not limited to just movement. So I picked up various other mediums like videography, like visual arts, and perfumery. I come from a background of um perfumers. I'm the third generation of perfumers in my family. So, in my personal practice right now, I try to blend all of these practices along with the kind of educational background that I have, which is psychology. So all these find their way in whatever work that I'm creating. I call myself a transdisciplinary artist, which is slightly different from a multidisciplinary artist in the way that my work in each medium informs my work in the other medium. And in a lot of my pieces, there are more than just one medium at work. So, yeah.
Okay. You did an interesting piece where you're trying to explore the olfactory medium in this particular performance that you did here at AIFACS. Can you tell us just a little bit about the process in terms of how do you actually create these scents?
So, so I have a training in perfumery from my father, of course, because I was a kid when I started going to the factory with him, but also from Grass Institute of Perfumery, where I learned how to formulate perfumes. I learned about a lot of raw materials. So the first step in creating a perfume is formulating the fragrance, which is writing what raw material will be used in what proportion, blended in a particular way, kept for the fragrance to macerate for a while so that it blends properly and it gives out the desired effect. And then comes the bottling part, which is my least favorite, to be honest. But yeah, so for the performance, I was very happy actually because the theme of the exhibition here that Art Loon is organizing at AIFACS was nostalgia and futurism. And this word that I presented here was called nostalgia. It's a word play because nose, that's why. And as the name suggests, it uses olfactory motives because memories and scents are very intrinsically connected. That is the most obvious connection that one can make with scents. So for this work, I blended 10 fragrances from motifs of daily life. For example, new car or old books or rain. So these are boxed into these wooden boxes, as you can see here. These are empty, but not really, because they contain the scent. The idea behind it was to move slightly away uh, from the visual dominated world, because a lot of things that we see around us, we see them, right? But usually we don't give much importance to the other senses, and which is something that I don't really like, because there is then this hierarchy in our senses, which is dominated by visuality. And I know I'm sitting in an art gallery around a lot of visual art pieces, and I'm just constantly talking about how that's not what I like. But yeah, so the idea was that an individual smells the boxes and is transported to a different point in space-time, if that's how I can put it. and if they resonate with a particular scent, they can use it to paint on the canvas here. And what we see here are some of the paintings, but there is so much that we can't see because scents are invisible in a certain way. When we paint with them and we don't see it, is it not really there is the question. It is of course there, just like memories. Just because we can't see somebody else's memory doesn't mean that they're not carrying it with them, right? So I start this performance action with these boxes stacked on my head, and it's a tricky prop to use because why am I stacking them on my head? Why can I not carry them in my hand, or why can I not place them directly here? And the answer to that is, where do we carry our past? Where do we carry our memories? Is it behind us? Because if it's behind us, it'll weigh us down. And if it's in front of us, it'll sort of obstruct whatever we're looking at. So this is something that this philosopher Heidegger, he conceptualized in his work, Being and Time. And I sort of resolve this dilemma for myself by carrying it on my head. So it's in a way me saying that we carry our memories on top of us. They walk with us wherever we go. And yeah, that's about it.
A lot of your work has traveled many galleries, many embassies. Can you tell us a little bit about where all have you exhibited and how has been the response so far?
So Nostalgia, this is the third time me performing Nostalgia. And before this, I've performed this at Thrissur, School of Drama, and also at Swiss Embassy in Delhi. Although when I did it at Swiss Embassy, it wasn't so elaborate. I started with only 5 cents that I thought were really strong, really powerful. And this is the third time, and there's this slight modification that I did of having an open canvas on which people can paint with the scents, because that is something that I've been building in my own practice. I've been painting with scent myself, so I thought that I would like to see people painting with scent, which is what they did, and I love it. I will keep this at home.
Do you want to talk about the future project?
So I've been working on this project. I've named it Tabula Rasa. It's the Latin word for a blank slate. What I did in that is I used the accord of sweat for the base of the perfume, which sounds very counterintuitive, considering that perfume is a commodity that is used to mask body odor usually. But this is a problem that I have with commodification of art in general. If perfumery is an art form in itself, then why is it just sold as a commodity? Why is it not going beyond for I think it has a lot of potential for artistic exploration. So for this project, I used the smell of sweat such that the body that wears the perfume, when it starts sweating, it adds to the perfume itself, and it creates a different version of the perfume itself, such that it's unique to each body that wears it. And the floral in the perfume, which is the blue lotus, it blooms even more when the body is sweating. And yeah, I've been fascinated with the idea of sweat for a while now, because it's also an olfactory motive that each body, regardless of caste or class or gender, it produces, right? It's very universal in nature. And also, I'm a dancer. I've been around sweating bodies, myself included. So I think it's a great entry point for empathy. So yeah, I'm working towards creating something that is a dissertation project that I have picked up with a lot of enthusiasm. So I just hope to God that I can do justice to the topic.
All right. Thank you so much, Bhakti, for being in conversation with us.